Very important painting. This was done by Raphael, who was a painter. Raphael. And we'll actually see where he's buried. What's that?
Raphael.
Raphael, yeah.
Raphael. R-A-F-A-E-L.
Yeah, he was a painter during the Renaissance. And the thing with Raphael, whenever he did theological works like this, there's always meaning behind it. So I'll tell you guys a story. To give you background, this is the transfiguration of Jesus, which is found in the Gospels. So the story goes that Jesus took Peter, James, and John up to a mountain, and he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, and two of the big figures from the Old Testament, Moses and Elijah, appeared to Jesus and were conversing to him. And then the Father, whose voice was heard, God the Father's voice was heard, "This is my Son, with whom I am well pleased, listen to him." And then after that, Moses and Elijah leave, Jesus turns back to normal, and he and the apostles come down the mountain. Well, they come down to the mountain then, and then the other 9 apostles are with this boy. The Father has brought his boy, the boy, to be cured because he's possessed by a demon. And so when they see Jesus, they come up to him and say, "Your apostles, I brought this boy I brought my boy so that he can be cured, but the apostles can't cure him." Jesus cures the boy, and then later on the apostles asked, "Why weren't we able to cure the boy?" And he said, "Because some things can only be cured through prayer and fasting." So that's the story behind this. That's the biblical story that Raphael is working with. And there's a color scheme. Blue is a symbol of humanity. Gold is a symbol of authority, red is a symbol of divinity, and green is a symbol of hope. So you have Jesus up there with Moses and Elijah, Peter, James, and John, 3 of the apostles up there. And on the side are 2 individuals who can either be the patrons, the people who commissioned Raphael to do this painting, or because the church celebrates the Feast of the Transfiguration on August 6th, and on that same day it's the feast day of 2 other martyrs. So it could be the martyrs up here. So Jesus is transfigured before them. Now what's interesting is down here, this space. You have the boy who's wearing blue.
Yes.
It's a symbol of his humanity. But notice he's not totally wearing blue. He's only half wearing blue. Why is he only halfway wearing blue? Because he's possessed by the demon. So when there's sin in your life, sin dehumanizes. That's what the church believes. Sin dehumanizes us. So why aren't we allowed to do certain things? Not because somebody said you can't do it, but because we believe it's part of our nature that it makes us less than human. So when there's sin, when there's the devil, you are less than human. You're dehumanized. So he's wearing half blue, and his parents are bringing him to the apostles, and they're wearing green because they're hoping that the boy will be cured. On the other side is Peter, so he's in 2 places at once with the gold and blue. Now Peter, because he's the prince of the apostles, he's the head of the apostles, he's wearing all blue because he's human, but he's also wearing gold because he's been given authority. Now Peter is looking through the Old Testament to find the cure for the boy. But who can ultimately cure the boy? Jesus. So it's not going to be found there. Now the interesting figure is the woman in the middle. The woman in the middle is a symbol of the church. So pink or red, rose. So red is a symbol of divinity because as Christians we believe the church was founded by Jesus Christ, so it's divine. Because Jesus is God, he instituted the church. Humans didn't come up with the church, God instituted it. So it's red. She's wearing red because of that. She's wearing blue because the church is made up of human beings, us. And her shoulder is bared because these human beings who make up the church are sinners. So it is through the church that the people come to the apostles who are the representatives of Christ. And of course, as I said, ultimately the apostles can't do anything on their own. The Old Testament can't do anything. It's ultimately Jesus whom the apostles represent. So that's why Raphael left that space. Because if you were to bring Jesus down from the mountain, he would fit perfectly in that space, and all the principal characters would be looking at him. So see, that's why the church commissioned all these great artists in the medieval age and even Renaissance age because this was the way to explain theology, to help people understand the biblical story. And Raphael loved this painting so much that on his deathbed, he requested that this be brought to him to look upon.